Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watching, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I'll talk back. Also down there as well is the links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Listen folks. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing a live radio show. We'll be talking about the Jets. We'll be talking about a lot of things we got upcoming. We'll be talking about the draft as well. So call in. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team, all right? So with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets pass rushing situation. Man, we need to add an edge rusher. And I think that the draft has a lot of options for the New York Jets to really take care of this position. Finally, we've been missing an edge rusher for years. We've been missing an edge rusher for years. We've been needing a pass rusher for so long, it's been ridiculous. But I think that this draft has some guys in it that can really help us out, particularly early in the draft as well. So we're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing, a little bit of a situation I could see the New York Jets doing to really handle the pass rushing issues that we have here. So first I want to start with some of the guys that we currently have on the roster that a lot of people look at. Because sometimes when I've talked about the Jets really addressing edge rusher in this draft, I've gotten a bit of pushback from some people. And one of the things that people always say to me, a lot of Jets fans, is they say, Joe, I've had people literally tell me, Joe, we don't need to worry about edge rush. We got Lawson. He's coming back this season. We're good to go. Be quiet about edge rush. And I always give them a whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Not so fast. Listen, Lawson, signed him last season. Phenomenal guy. Can't wait to get him back this year. Tore his Achilles in the offseason. Didn't play this season, right? And now we're looking to see what he's going to come back as. That's the big problem. We don't exactly know what we're getting from Lawson when he comes back. Torn Achilles, just like torn ACL, and, guys tear their MCL, shred, stuff like that, knee injury, stuff like that. Generally, it takes time for players to come back and be in the same shape or better shape than they were before that injury, okay? Now, we're just talking about physically, but there's also a mental component to it as well because there's a lot of players that once they have that type of injury, it takes them a second to be able to trust their body mentally. A lot of guys always have that pause, hesitation, because it's like, if I go too hard on this play, if I push off too hard, if I really slam pedal to the floor, gas, if I just go all the way, will I pop my ACL again? Will I tear my Achilles again? There's a lot of players that mentally upstairs injuries like this affect them. Now, I think Lawson will be able to battle through that. I think he'll come back fine. He seems like a guy that's really pushing, really motivated, can't wait to come back. But again, I think it's going to take time to work himself back into the groove of things here. So thinking that he's going to come off this torn Achilles and immediately give us production like that, I think is a little bit much. And even when he was fully healthy, 8.5 sacks is the most that he's had in the season. That was in 2017. So I think even if he was here, and fully healthy and we were ready, knowing, hey, he's going to go into the season, he's going to give us some production, I think we still would be looking for a little bit more at edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? So Lawson, I think, is going to be part of the reason or part of the solvent to the issue that we have, but he's not going to be like the full solution. We still need more, right? So then you look at a guy like John Franklin Myers. John Franklin Myers is a guy that, we all were looking at once Lawson went down. Now, he did have a game, especially against Houston, that was phenomenal. 2 sacks, an interception. He had a game here or there as well outside of that one where he was able to make an impact. But for most of the season, he was non-existent, completely non-existent. Now, he's a guy that I think you add into the rotation and he becomes more daily there. But if you're looking for him to really give you that ipso facto kind of pass rush, I don't know if he gives you that. Then people look at Quinnen Williams and say, well, Quinnen Williams, he's going to be dominant. He's going to give us, 10, 12, 13 sacks. And I'm like, I don't think so, man. Listen, Quinnen Williams is a pretty solid defensive tackle. I think he's very good, right? Has he lived up to that high pick that we took him at? Not so much, but he's working his way there. I think he takes the next step this year. I think he's dominant, but I don't think he'll dominate as far as pass rush. What I do think is that when you add pass rush to this defense, that will then make him more of a force because he gets those one-on-one matchups again. You can't double team him because if you do, you're going to get burned from the outside from a lot of the other pass rushers that we're going to bring in. And so you have to take account for that. I think he's a guy that will benefit from pass rush more than a guy that's going to immediately come out and give us, you know, the numbers into the teens. I don't think he gives us that from his interior side. He's also battled some injuries as well. Foot injury, had a shoulder injury this year too. So we're really looking to see him take the next step this season. And again, I think pass rush will help him do that, added pass rush. Then you also got Jacob Martin. Jacob Martin's another guy that we can throw into our rotation that's going to help us. We just signed him in free agency. He was playing with the Texans last year, so we'll see what he gives us. But I don't think he's kind of the ipso facto guy. So then you look at the draft for the New York Jets, and you say, okay, well, how can the Jets address this situation? How can they attack the edge rush situation and win? And with the New York Jets sitting at 4, the first name you get is Kayvon Thibodeaux. Listen, Kayvon Thibodeaux from Oregon, this dude is ridiculous, okay? He's ridiculous. He's such a dominant edge rusher, but there's been a lot of talk lately about him sliding, and there's a lot, and when I say a lot, there's a lot of Jets fans that do not want the Jets to take him. I'm telling you, I know some of y'all gonna be like, what, Joe? Yes, I have had discussions, multiple discussions. You can listen to my shows, all right, where there are Jets fans literally saying, do not take Kayvon Thibodeaux. There's a lot of talk about his attitude, which I don't know where that's coming from. There's a lot of talk about him being stiff. There's some Jets fans that just don't like him. And he's also been talked about as well by, you know, some scouts saying that he's sliding in the draft because he didn't interview well, all this stuff. I don't believe that stuff, but I'll tell you what. If he's there at 4, the New York Jets should take him. Listen, if he's there at 4, I will drive to the draft myself and hand in the card for Kayvon Thibodeaux. I'll just drive there, run up to the podium, and scream, Kayvon Thibodeaux, you're a New York Jet. That's literally what I will do, okay, if he's there at 4. But there's also a question about, okay, what if Kayvon's not there at 4? Then what do you do, right? And I look at that situation and I say, okay, that would suck, right? That would suck as a New York Jets fan. That'd be like, man, that sucks. But what it would do was allow us to utilize that situation to trade down, okay? Now, if you're still looking to address edge rush, say we're locked in on taking edge rush with our top pick. We're locked into that, all right? So we look at the situation. I think the New York Jets could end up trading down to 6, Carolina, because again, Carolina's looking to take a quarterback. They don't want to get jumped. I could see them looking up and saying, listen, we're willing to move up to 4. Do you want to do this deal with us so that we don't get jumped? And we move down to 6, and we could end up taking a guy like Travon Walker. Travon Walker is a guy that's really rising up the boards. Let me tell you something. Travon Walker is 6'5", 270. He ran a 4.5 at the combine. That is the best 40 time ever for a guy that weighs 270. This dude is athletic, had 6 sacks in his last year in Georgia. He can come in and play end in our 4-3 system. This guy has what it takes. There's also a lot of talk of him being able to stand up. His versatility is huge as well to our scheme. So Travon Walker is a guy, again, that's flying up these boards. There's a lot of talk about him. He's a guy that we can end up either taking at 6 or even moving down to 8 because there's a lot of talk that he'll be still there in that range. So Travon Walker is a guy that we could look at. But I could also see the New York Jets doubling up at pass rusher as well to really add that just relentless feel that we need here. Because in this NFL, if you can't rush the passer, you're going to be dead in the water. And we've seen that for years. We haven't had a pass rusher since John Abraham. So I could see the New York Jets trading down, gaining capital, getting a pass rusher in Travon Walker, and also possibly taking another pass rusher at 10 with Jermaine Johnson. Listen, Jermaine Johnson, Florida State, had a big impact at the Senior Bowl. That he was, you know, the Jets saw that front row and center. There's a lot of talk that Joe Douglas loves this guy. I could see them taking him as well at 10 and really shoring up this pass rushing situation and still having more capital in our back pocket to help fill other spots that we need here too. So I want to hear from you folks about this. Comment down below. What are your thoughts about the situation with the New York Jets at edge rusher? How would you feel about the New York Jets taking Kayvon Thibodeaux at 4? If Kayvon Thibodeaux is not there at 4, what are your thoughts about what the New York Jets should do? Do you like my plan on trading down and maybe taking Travon Walker? What are your thoughts about Jermaine Johnson at 10? I want to hear from you folks. Comment down below. Let's go back and forth in the comments. You folks have a good one. Peace.